Hey, Team Impact. We're moving on today. We're going to be talking about rates as a comparison. We're going to continue our path of unit rates and that mantra. So kind of get ready to roll and stick with me here. Let me get my calculator out on my phone because I'm going to need it. Here we go. So when we're comparing rates, we want to get it down to a unit rate. We have different function tables here, right? How are we getting from X to Y, or what is the process? What is the rule? A travel agent is preparing three different car rental quotes for a customer, as shown in the tables, right? So number of 3 days, 5 days, what is the cost per 1 day? So to get it for 1 day, I always put money on the top, right? And we put 3 on the bottom. I want it for 1 day. So we're dividing both numbers by 3. Okay, so when I take $109.50 and divide it by 3, I end up with $36.50 per day. Let's go again. If all right, the frugal ride is $71.50 for 2 days. What is it for 1 day, right? All we're doing is simply dividing it to get the unit rate, and that's $37.75 per day. Let's go to value. Value as $111 for 3 days. Let's take it down to a unit rate of 1 day. So 111 divided by 3 is $37 per day. And make sure that you label it. So those are our unit rates, right? Okay. What is the cost of renting a car for 10 days at Thrifty, Voyage, Frugal, and Value? So now, all right, here's Thrifty. Right, and we're going to scale it up. Well, if it's $36.50 for 1 day, what's it equal for 10 days? Well, all we're going to do is multiply them both by 10. So this times 10 is 10. This times 10 is just moving the decimal point to the right. Some mental math. It's $365. To multiply by a power of 10, we move it to the right one place. Next one is Frugal. And Frugal's unit rate was $37.75 for 1 day. What is it for 10 days? Well, again, I'm just going to move that decimal point to the right one place, and it's $377 for 10 days. And I should label that correctly. And the last one is Value. Again, I'm going to use the unit rate that I just figured out, $37 for 1 day. I need it for 10 days times 10. And remember, we're going to move that decimal point to the right, and we end up with $370 for 10 days. All right? All right, so what is the best value for the 10-day rental? Well, clearly you can compare apples to apples, and it's going to be Thrifty. So go ahead and write that down, all right? Thrifty, right? Okay. Let's move on. Okay. Rates can be useful in comparing different quantities. So that problems can be solved, right? And it's really important to get things to a unit rates. Rates can be solved by using tape diagrams or proportions, just like ratios, right? So anytime we're talking about this, we could talk about money, we could talk about speed, all right? And then, we could talk about vehicles, right? We could talk about, it applies to really everything. It applies to everything. All right, let's take a look at these problems now. A manufacturing line can produce 15 widgets in 2 minutes. How many widgets can the line produce in 30 minutes? Okay. So there's a couple different ways to do this, right? We could take it to a minute, or excuse me, we could take it to an hour and take it down. Let's go ahead and write down our rate. 15 widgets, 2 minutes, right? Well, I clearly can take that up directly, and I'm looking for X. So it's more proportions, right? Times 15 times 15. 15 times 15 is 225 widgets. Okay, so we're just scaling it up. Nothing's different, right? A dripping faucet leaks 10 milliliters in 3 minutes. How many minutes will it take to go 140 milliliters? Okay, 10 milliliters, 3 minutes. Again, very important that you label. I need 140 milliliters in X minutes, right? So how are we getting from there to there? Well, it's times what? It's just times 14, right? This times 14 is that, because if we just add a 0 to that, that times 14 is going to give us X, which is 42 minutes. Okay? So more ratios, more rates, more unit rates. Let's flip the page and continue on. I'm running a little bit behind here this morning, so I'm hustling through this. So I apologize if I'm going too fast, but you always can pause the video. A 12-pack of orange soda is priced at $3. A 6-pack is $1.75. What is the better value? All right, so let's take these down to a unit rate. I always like my 12. I always like my money on the top. All right, so a 12-pack is $3. All right, so what does one can cost? What is divided by 12? And if I take 3, all right, let me pull my calculator up and divide it by 12, I end up with 25 cents. So 1 can is 25 cents. At the 6-pack, let's put the money on the top, $1.75, and all right, 6 on the bottom, but what's 1 can, right? What's 1 can? So we're going to take $1.75, and we're going to divide it by 6, all right? And we're going to get about 29 cents. So we always just round that down, all right? And it's going to look like that. So which is the better value? Well, the 12-pack is. By how much? By 4 cents. So the 12-pack is the answer. Okay? All right, let's go. Anna can type 123 words in 3 minutes. Caroline can type 220 words in 5 minutes. Who types faster? Good stuff. 123 words, 3 minutes. Well, what's she doing in 1 minute? What's she doing? So let's see. 123 divided by 3 is 41. You're getting the idea. To get unit rate, we just take the top and divide it by the bottom and put it over 1. Let's see what Caroline is doing. 220 and 5, what's they doing in 1? Well, some of you can do that mentally, and there it is, 44. 44 words per minute. So who is faster? Well, it looks to be Anna. May reads 403 pages in 13 hours. At this rate, how long will it take 248 pages of the book? Okay, 403 pages in 13 hours. At this rate, how long will it take her to read 248 pages? So we're going to scale this down, and we're looking for X down at the bottom, right? So there's a couple different ways to look at this. And when we look at this problem, all right, we can cross multiply and divide. So we have 248 times 13, and we get 3,224. Now, I take that and divide it by what's left, the number that I didn't use, and I end up with a value of X, which is 8. So this divided by that is 8. 8 what? 8 hours. 8 hours, right? Okay, so we're doing okay so far. I'm hustling through. I've got to get to bus duty. Let's skip this. I don't like to take diagrams. They're more confusing than anything. We've got a couple more problems. Number 7. In number 7, a contractor has 12 gallons of paint, which can cover this many square feet. Which of the following best describes the relationship between the numbers of square feet and the numbers of gallon? So it looks like they're taking it down to a unit rate, right? So that's what they're doing to. So we need gallons on the top, right? We're going to have gallons on the top. So this is per square foot. So this is 12 gallons, 2,712 feet square. So what are they saying? Well, it looks like they're trying to scale it up, all right? And look what they did here. I can actually get rid of this problem because this is square feet, not gallons. So right now, I know it's not letter B, okay? So let's see what we have here. 12 gallons per gallon, 12 square feet per gallon? No, they did it to us again. They flipped the numbers around, so that's out. So now, let's look at this. If I take this up to 226 gallons, how many square feet will I get? Well, here we go. All right, so I'm going to take this up to this and this up to this, okay? And I've got to run, so I'll let you guys finish that. Have a great day. I apologize for the rush.